Good afternoon to those on the East Coast. You're hearing the voice of Dr. Cindy Gordon, CEO and founder of SalesChoice, and we're delighted to be with you today in our Predictive World series, discussing predicting customer renewals and churns using AI-driven insights. We're very fortunate to have with us today Matthew Darrow, who's the Vice President of Product at Zora, and Dr. Carl Gold, Chief Data Scientist at Zora. I had a chance earlier this morning to run through the attendee roster, and really delighted that we've got such a diverse crowd here. We've got probably about 15% of attendees are CEOs or senior leaders of sales. We've got a nice sprinkling of financial folks, marketing, and then a number of influencers in either our consulting or analyst community. First, we're always delighted to bring our community together to learn and advance in appreciating predictive customer renewals in particular. AI is fairly hot as a topic these days, but I think what we're going to do today is share with you a number of pragmatic perspectives based on our experiences of having been building and deploying these solutions in diverse organizations. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Zora leadership team who've joined us today, and they've been instrumental in evangelizing the subscription economy and also further extending their product solution set in the area of predictive churn. I had the pleasure of having a lovely dinner with them in Toronto, for those of you that are on board in Toronto in the TD Tower, and had just a lovely, delightful evening and felt quite animated conversation. So I really wanted to make sure that they had a chance to share their stories, that they're just delightful people. So I'm going to ask Matthew first to say a few words about Zora to introduce the company. And so Matthew, I'm turning things over to you.
Well, thanks for having us today, Cindy. We're also really excited to be here. At Zora, we're a cloud-based enterprise software company. So we're building products that allow our customers to run a subscription-based business model. And that begins with our order-to-cash platform, but it continues with our billing, CPQ, RevRec, collections, and insights products. For the folks on the phone that might not be as familiar with us, we have 800 customers around the world in really every industry. SaaS companies like Box.com and Zendesk, media companies like The Economist and Financial Times, telco providers like Rogers up in Canada and even Vonage, and even some of the large industrials that you might not expect to be subscription companies like Caterpillar, Schneider Electric, Komatsu, and even General Motors. We've published a subscription economy index. We're going to be talking about that today. And that's really the highlight why every industry is shifting to subscriptions. These companies' revenues are growing approximately 9 times faster than the S&P 500. At Zora, we're headquartered out in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, but we've got operations around the world. And like I mentioned, we're really excited to be part of the SalesChoice Predictive World webinar today, talking about the Subscription Economy Index, discussing our experiences when it comes to helping customers reduce churn and using predictive analytics to do that. So really happy to be here and turn the agenda back to you, Cindy, and we can go through the rest of the agenda.
Thanks so much, Matthew. So in terms of the agenda today, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper into the subscription economy and some of the perspectives that are very near to Zora's vision of the future, but also to the realities of how we can accelerate our growth in these subscription-based business models. We're going to cover off specific case studies today. We're going to tell you stories of client experience both on the Zora side and the SalesChoice side. And we also just want to encourage you, if you've got any questions, to go to the question tab that you have in your GoToMeeting. So we welcome those early so we can kind of divvy them out to our little team here today with you today. So I'm going to now turn things back over to my fellow colleague Matt today, who will now further introduce the subscription economy and can help set the stage further for our webinar.